definitive of the future trajectory of our history, the history of the nation state. And there can be no better chronicler of those times than the man who was at the core face of journalism from his starting point at Newswatch. And we all know how important Newswatch was as a journalistic platform, and also at one stage as a conscience of the nation, the journalistic conscience of the nation. And he was very much involved in that. And even when he veered to Classique, which was less, should I say, it was less institutional in its approach to the news, he took that same character, that same pupillage that he had received at Newswatch, and he did his own innate seriousness of personality to this journal. And this is what this legacy of the legacy of knowledge and character and professional character that he had gained was what he transferred to his own journal, Hallmark, from 1999 onwards till his death. And so I'll walk you through. I shall share my screen if I can succeed in doing that. And I have to warn you that my PowerPoints are notoriously horrible as compared to Prince's PowerPoints, which are always very impeccable and immaculate. I remember commenting on that the last time I saw him. So Prince, please forgive me. I have still not been able to catch up with you almost 10 years after. Right, I'll just share my screen now and seen, because I'm not sure it's being seen. Well, okay, he came up with where I Classique, which, as you know, Academatics was a platform which was had the late wonderful Ezekiel as a publisher. So clearly, it was less of a formal news-based grounding and more of, I won't say soft sell, because it was a bit of a mix. But what was kind of interesting was the way that the Prince morphed himself across several news genre, from music and entertainment across to politics, which obviously was his forte, and indeed economics and business. And three items which I thought I should just show you were an interview with Mohammed Haruna, who was many will remember, was the editor of New Nigerian, and the way that Aneka Obasi and Okagwe, who is, I use the phrase, his partner in crime at Classique, he was features editor at Classique. The way they conducted this interview skillfully, really it should be a masterclass, and the travels from OIC to the guiding of press freedom and several other issues was simply a masterclass, and we published the whole interview. And secondly, obviously, the next being Who Wants, the heading is Who Wants David West, which is fairly sensational. But when you go down into the depth of it, it's an interview with Professor Tam David West, which really is one of the most in-depth interviews with the enigma, with the intellectual enigma that was Professor Tam David West. And the last being an interview with the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Kalu Ibika, on the vagaries of the then topical structural adjustment program. I think these really are museum pieces, not just for historians, but also obviously for journalists in the methods and indeed the content. And now we go on to the next period, which is the Hallmark and National Mirror years. And we've curated a vast tranche of his writings and editorial commentary from in this publication, which really was the article, as we all are aware, were his babies. Obviously, National Mirror was after the acquisition of Hallmark newspaper by Mr. Jimo Ibrahim, that was a change. But even afterwards, Business Hallmark remained a publication, remained his legacy publication, and which subsists till today, and thankfully has Dr. Obasi, Dr.